Good people, I hope you enjoyed today's video because over the past year or so I've been collecting these little knickknacks, what I would call them. Not necessarily something that I use every day, but these are some cool PC components you probably never heard of that could potentially be useful for your next build. Now, the interesting thing about this entire collection is that they all try to solve a particular issue when it comes to PC building. So whether it's cable management, lighting, spacing for the GPU, additional I/O and USB ports, etc. So I'm hoping that some of these items may be beneficial to you and not really a waste of time. So let's dive right in. Alright, so let's start off with something for cable management. This is the EVGA Power Link. This adapter is quite old, but it reroutes the power inputs for your GPU for a cleaner look from the top, so the PCI cables exit on the back of the card. So keep in mind the added length of the whole GPU because of Power Link, and also compatibility since the pegs must face down. So it will work with EVGA cards and Founders Edition cards as well. And there is a 6-pin connector included, so you can swap that in. It is a $15 accessory, so quite inexpensive, but it's very basic. So the EVGA logo does not light up, and in my configuration the cables exiting from the bottom of the card, it doesn't look very good, but it still might suit some systems. Next up is the 24-pin motherboard 90-degree adapter from Coolermaster. It's a no bling accessory as well that is actually quite genius, since let's say 99% of motherboards have the 24-pin facing up, and this way you avoid bending the cable for a slightly cleaner exit. Now the thing is, I don't get why it's so expensive at $25 with the built-in capacitor, and I personally would love for companies to include something like that for high-end motherboards or high-end power supplies. I also wish that these adapters were slightly lower profile, not as bulky plastic pieces, because they do introduce their own sort of compromises. And by the way, everything will be linked in the description below. Thank you very much. Next up is a device you probably don't need. This is a wireless power and reset switch from SilverStone. So you plug this into your motherboard USB port, reroute the power and reset connections while also linking the case I/O here, so case buttons will still work. And using this remote, you can wirelessly power on and reset your system. The range is actually quite good because of the 2.4 GHz receiver. The setup is simple and pretty clean too. And this might be handy for wall-mounted PCs and really hard to reach systems, and might be handy for you. It is $20, so not too expensive, and fills in that interesting void of wireless accessories. Moving on, we have something all ITX users will appreciate, a magnetic internal USB hub from NZXT. Now I say ITX users because many ITX motherboards only have a single internal USB header, so if you're connecting an AIO that requires USB for drivers and many other accessories, this thing will save your build. So it's got 3 USB headers plus one you connect to the motherboard, and 2 USB 2 ports for whatever accessories you might want to plug in there. It is powered via Molex. That seems to be a common complaint, but it supplies more power than SATA, and it's only $20 that I'm sure many people will appreciate. An alternative to that is a Thermaltech H200 internal hub that has basically the same functionality with 3 USB motherboard headers and 3 USB 2 ports for standard accessories, but this one is SATA powered and is designed slightly differently, so the magnet on here is much stronger, and because it's magnetic and has all the parts around, you can integrate it behind the case or in the main chamber as part of all your visual hardware. It is around $23 and will definitely be handy for systems where you're adding multiple all-in-one coolers, other accessories that need that whole USB driver support for the motherboard. This is the way to go. Alright, this next item is quite bizarre, a 120mm in-wind fan called Mars. It comes in red or black with a quality aluminum body, and it's quite unique because of this transformative nature of the frame, allowing you to angle and position the fan towards usually unreachable spots, either delivering air or exhausting air. And this articulator arm allows for 360-degree rotation, plus the fan has some ability as well. You just have to be cautious with spinning blades in whatever odd location you install this thing. It has a PWM cable for control via your motherboard, or you can plug this into a USB port, thus opening opportunities for installation of Mars outside of the case. The only crappy thing is, of course, the price at $60. It's quite steep for a single fan. And speaking of fans, if you're all about giving your system some illumination without going overboard, the Phanteks Halos RGB fan frames are actually quite awesome. So the more premium luxe frames are made of aluminum and they're around $20 a piece, while the normal plastic ones are about $12, but the illumination is the same. They light up fan blades and the effect looks really nice with white white blades, but also not bad with my brown Noctua fans too. They can be daisy chained together or connected directly to the Fantex case lighting or via addressable headers on your motherboard. And then we've got these interesting fan dust filters from SilverStone. I don't like the color options, but functionally they're perfect with the magnetic frame, so you don't need to screw them on, with anti-vibration padding included and a super fine dust mesh that has very little impact on airflow but will collect all the particles. They're only available in 120mm sizes, but might be an excellent choice for some ITX systems or replacing existing dust filters, and you can pick them up for around $13. And the last item on the list is a vertical PCIe GPU bracket for your case from CableMod. It should fit in most cases with 7+ PCI slots, and it spaces the GPU away from the side panel, thus temperatures should be lower versus traditional vertical GPU alignment. It comes with 2 angle DisplayPort cables and a short riser cable to get everything set up so you can showcase, the full body of your graphics card. And the only disadvantage here is that you're essentially blocking the rest of your PCI slots on the motherboard, and it's also a $60 accessory. Pretty steep. Alright people, so that is my list of weird and cool knickknacks that I've collected over time when it comes to PC components that might be worth your time. But if you've discovered some strange components along your journey of PC building, definitely share them in the comments below. I'm Dmitry, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to check out this other relevant content, and we'll see you in the next video.